It comes out as 6 games. We don't know what that means when you look at it. Union came out and said they wouldn't appeal. That's not a surprise because they'd be appealing to the other side. The NFL has said they're going to assess. They have 3 days to appeal. What are your expectations with that?
I don't know. I think a lot of it will be with kind of, as the NFL does, public outcry, and what they feel they can get. I mean, one thing you say, hey, we respect that the judge made this decision, spent 5 weeks doing so, we're going to go with it, even though it wasn't what we were hoping. Or they can say, nope, we're going to disregard everything and kind of change it. And it could be, they could move it up to the 8-10 game level. I can't imagine them going back to a season long. The last I was told they were, they would have settled with about a 12 game and a big fine. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they bump it up to 8 games, but I just think that you have a process for 5 weeks. I understand that it was agreed upon to go back, but you're going back to the same people that, the players were trying to get away from. Roger Goodell always making the final decision. And if they do that, that's what you have again.
When you look at the NFL potentially appealing it, that will upset the union. The union came out and said they weren't going to appeal it with the thought that the NFL, or the hope that the NFL would do the same. They did not.
Right. They said they're going to take, but they have the right, according to the CBA, that they agreed to, and that's true. I don't know why the NFL players would have ever agreed to that it goes back to the NFL, but they did, and so we'll see what the NFL does. They've are worried about their image. They got criticized heavily in the Ray Rice and other things. But then on the other hand, here's you brought in a federal judge to arbitrate this. It's been going on since June 28th, so you're over a month, 5 weeks into it. And then to disregard everything and just say, thanks, but no thanks, we're going to do this. So I don't know. Everybody thinks it's over. It's really not over. I mean, if it stays at 6 games, I think it's an incredible win for the Browns because a lot of people were bracing for most of the season. I think a tipping point is about 8 games. You go more than that, then your season is in doubt for playoffs. But I think they can overcome 6 games for sure.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And the first 4, Pittsburgh's probably the toughest of them. And that's a Steelers roster that appears to be down. So it would appear, if it stays at 6, it's lining up to be a pretty decent season.
Exactly. The first 4 games on paper is arguably the easiest part of the schedule. 2 of those 4 teams were trying to get Deshaun Watson in Carolina and Atlanta. And last year, Carolina won 5 games. The Jets won 4 games. The Falcons won 7. And then you have the Steelers who went to the playoffs, but they lost Ben Roethlisberger. So on paper, those 4 games are all winnable. And then you have the Patriots and the Chargers. I like my chances, coming out of there at least 3-3. If you're 3-3, I think you have a chance, to really be in good shape after the suspension.